Hey everyone. My name is Abby Ascencio, and I am the creative director for The Gold Digger Girl. And thank you so much for joining me in today's YouTube video. I've been part of the team for several years now, and I take care of all things that have to do with branding, social media marketing, email marketing, a lot of other things, but also content creation. A lot of content creation. And one of my favorite platforms to use is Canva. I am obsessed with Canva. I use Canva on a daily basis to create social media graphics, stories, reel covers. I also use it to create funnels now. So that's been actually a very fun learning process. And all of these tips that I'm going to be showing you today, the reason why I picked these specific tips out is because they're going to save you a ton of time. Okay. And let's be real. We all have a million things to do. And if we can shave off a few minutes here and there, we need to take advantage of that. Right. So I'm all about creating shortcuts that make life easier. So yeah. So let's open up Canva and let's jump right in. Okay. So as you can see here, I opened up a new Canva, and one of the first hacks that I'm going to be showing you is going to be the magic grab. Okay. And this is one that I'm using constantly these days. So I picked out a picture. It's a full picture. It's just a picture of Kimberly. And I wanted to use this picture for a funnel that I was designing. And I wanted to remove Kimberly because I really liked the background, right? So if you highlight your picture, you're going to go to edit. And you're going to go to magic grab. So what this is going to do is grab Kimberly and separate it from the picture. So here, I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And it'll ask you what you want to grab. So it gives you the option to do brush or click. I always do the click because it highlights her entire body. And then I click on grab. So it's going to take this out of the picture. It's so cool. And there you go. So now you can remove her from the image. And now you have your picture separate from this. And now you can do so much with this. I mean, you can turn this into like the background of anything, actually. So I'm just going to click on right click, set image as background, and there you go. And if you want to keep her, but maybe let's say you want to make her bigger, you can. And it still makes the graphic look pretty awesome, right? So what I did was I was in the middle of designing a funnel, and I'll show you how the funnel looks like. Let's see. It starts, let me show you from all the way at the top. So this is the funnel that I was working on, and each page I was using a different background. So I'm like, you know what, for the thank you page, I wanted to use just the background, right? And that's when I took that picture off. And this is how it looks now. Because I felt like this was a little too busy. So I wanted to take her out of the image. And then here you go. It just left me with just the background and it looked perfect. So that's an awesome thing you can do with this one. Imagine that if you ever, or you know what, let's say that you want to use this picture the way it was, but she was in the center, right? Let me go back to the original image. And let's say this is the picture, the original picture that we started with. But let's say that, you know what, I want to use this. I want to put some words here, a header, a subtitle. I just want to move her over. Now you can. See, and now you have all this space to add your tips or your invitation, announcements, anything. So that's the cool thing about the Magic Grab. Okay, so the second tip is going to be about the blended app. This one I use on a daily basis as well. I already have a picture here ready. So as you can tell, this picture, it looks very empty at the top, right? I feel like a lot of the action is happening down here. And I also feel like the desk may be a little bit too empty as well. So I want to add more things, right? But I don't want it to like stick out or anything. I just want to make sure it's blended, right? So I picked out a few different images that I want to add, right? I found these on Pinterest, to be honest. You can also go into the Photos app on the side, inside of Canva. So I'm just going to make this small. You can pick any picture. Don't worry about the background. You can pick anything. That's why I love this app, because you can literally go onto Pinterest and pick out anything you like. So I picked out this one. I figured we can also add maybe like a clock. And I don't panic because I know that yellow is totally not our brand color. Our brand colors are more like light, like pink, like a softer pink, light gray. So this yellow is totally not our vibe. But don't worry, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. So I want to make this frame up here maybe a little bit bigger above the clock, and I want to put the clock here. Now, remember I mentioned that I also feel like the desk is empty. I also saved a picture of a coffee. And again, don't worry about the background, the wooden table. I'm going to place this around here. I feel like that size right here is a decent size. But if you want to make it bigger, make sure that you make it the size that you want it to be. Like I said, this one's too big. So I'm going to make it, I want it to look realistic, right? Like it belongs there. So I'm just going to make sure it's a decent size that matches the desk and everything else. Okay, so now that you have all your images on here, you're going to highlight the big picture, and then you're going to highlight the first one, which is the frame. So you're going to highlight both of them. Just in case you don't know how to do that, all I did was click on the first image, and then to highlight the second image, I clicked on Shift on my keyboard and then clicked on the image. That's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is just clicking anywhere here on the white part and then highlighting both of them, and just highlight those two. Once you have them both highlighted, you are going to go to the apps, and it's going to automatically pop up here. It doesn't give you you don't have to click anything else. All you have to do is click on edit, and then this blended app will pop up. Click on it and then blend images, and it's going to start generating it. It's going to give you 4 options to choose from, and then you're going to pick out which one looks best. And then if you notice, the white background is no longer there, and then this is all one picture. See how this one you can still highlight this one, but you can't highlight this one anymore. So now you get to pick out of all of these. And make sure you go through all of them, because sometimes the words are not the correct words, it's the correct spelling. Like this one has 2 E's instead of 2 L's. This one just is not right. And you definitely don't want to put this one. Okay, so we're going to pick the first one, and then you're just going to click on done. Or if you don't like any of these, you can also generate new results. So I'm going to click done. And now this one is blended. And if you can tell, it's all one picture now. So that's a pretty cool thing about it. And then we're going to highlight the next one. So I'm going to click on my first big image, my original image, and then I'm going to click on Shift. And then I'm going to click on the clock. I'm going to go to edit. The app will already be there. Blend images. Give it a few seconds and it'll pop up 4 new options to choose from. And they all look pretty okay. So I'm just going to stick with the first one. Or let's see, maybe this one. You can even try clicking on all of them to see which one you like best. But that one looks decent. I think I could have made the clock a little bigger. But for time's sake, you kind of get the point. Okay, the next one. I'm going to highlight both of these and click on edits, blend images, or blend image, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll click on all of them. I feel like this one looks pretty cool. I'll stick with the third one. The third one looks pretty good. It looks like a decent size as well. And then I'm just going to click on done. So there you go. Now all those images is one, right? Making it so much easier for you to continue editing. If you want to turn this into a full background, you can, and it'll keep your images without you having to resize or move them around or anything like that. So it just, like I said, it saves you time. It keeps everything in one place and just so much easier for you to continue editing. Okay, so for the next tip, this one, if I wish I would have known this tip right at the beginning when I first started using Canva, because it would have saved me a lot of headaches, a lot of stress, and just a lot of time for sure. So I went ahead and created this carousel. It just has different tips. It consists of 5 slides. And if you take a look at everything, it looks good, right? But then out of nowhere, you notice that you made a typo on your name, right? It says the Gold Digger with 2 Ds. It's supposed to just be the Gold Digger 1D, right? So I'm hoping I didn't make that mistake on all of slides, but apparently I did, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, now I have to fix all of these. Now 5 pages isn't a big deal because it's only 5 pages. You would only have to, change it on 5 pages. But what if you're working on a workbook or on an ebook, right? On a guide, on a playbook that consists of 100 pages or more? Does that mean you have to go one by one? Honestly, as silly as it may sound, that's what I used to do when I first started. And like I said, I wish I would have had somebody tell me this. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go over to, well, I'm going to highlight this first. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to copy it, right? Then I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Find and Replace Text. This little box is going to pop up. And then here, you're going to enter. Well, this should have been, there should not be anything here. There we go. This is how it should look. It should look empty, right? But here where it says find, I'm going to click on the misspelled word that I wanted to find, okay? And then here, I wanted to replace it with the correct spelling. So I'm going to put the gold digger with 1D girl. So that's what we wanted to replace it with. Now it tells you, do you want to replace it here or do you want to replace all? We want to replace all. So click on this. Now we can get out of here and it's fixed here. The gold digger girl. The gold digger girl. It's fixed everywhere. I'm telling you, can you believe it? I used to go one by one, all the time. And I would do this on ebooks and workbooks, and it would take me forever. And I would be so frustrated at them because it's like, oh my gosh, I really hope I didn't make a different mistake, right? So there you go. This one is a really fast and easy tip, but I'm telling you, it'll save you a ton of trouble, especially if you've been also doing it page by page. Okay, so for the next tip, let's say that you are working on creating your new lead magnet, right? You do a little bit of research online and you find a bunch of them that you like, right? A lot of people are doing lead magnets these days. So you see one of them, or maybe you see one of the lead magnets that we have from the Gold Digger Girl and you like it. And you're like, oh my God, I really like her design. I like how it looks, right? Now, I'm not saying copy our stuff, right? You don't copy anybody's, but you're like, you know what? I want to take her lead magnet and use it as inspiration, but I don't want to start from scratch, right? If you don't have to start from scratch at anything, don't do it. Don't do it. If you have something to work off of, go for it. Like I said, don't copy, but use it for inspiration. So this is what we're going to do. Let's just say that you saw one of our lead magnets and you liked it, right? And it's a PDF. I'm going to show you which one it is. Let me just click on this one. So let's say you see this one and you love it. It has, you like the design on each picture. Maybe you like the format of the table of contents. You like the about section and you're like, you know what? I want to use this format. I'll change everything else. I'll change the pictures. You're going to change your branding colors. Obviously, you're going to change the words, but I just like the format, right? Or you can also say, you know what? I need to create a lead magnet. I don't have that much time on my hands. I like this format. If only I wish I can change this, right? And just save me from having to start from scratch. Well, you can. So let's say you have it saved as a PDF. You're going to go to, so you're going to go to Canva or you're going to go to upload. You're going to click on upload files and you are going to go to your PDF that you want, which is this one. And it's going to start right here. It's going to start a new design right here. And you can click on it already. As soon as it finishes processing, it'll open up. And it usually doesn't take this long either. So it might depend on how many pages the PDF is. So once it finished processing, you open it up and there you have it. You don't have to start from scratch. It pulls up the entire PDF. It splits it up for you page by page. And guess what? Now you can change it. Everything in here has become something that you can delete. The words, you can change the words. You can change it to your brand fonts. You have your table of content format here that you can just change it up. Everything from the pictures to the words, everything. You don't have to start from scratch anymore. So again, if I knew this could be done years ago, I would have done it and it would have saved me so much trouble, so much time, because there are a lot of lead magnets out there that are really nice, and again, you're not copying, right? You're just using them as inspiration. You might not need all 30 pages, right? You may only need 5 or 10 pages. So there you have it. This is a really good tip that will, again, save you a lot of time. Okay, so for our final tip for today, I'm going to show you how you can turn an entire workbook, or you can use it for a graphic, and translate it. Okay, now this is a pretty cool feature because the first thing I thought about, like when I first figured out that you can do this, the first thing I thought about was, oh my God, we can use this to attract and reach out to a whole new audience. So here, I'll show you. I'm going to use the Wealth Code Bootcamp workbook, and I'm going to make a copy of it because I don't want to mess with the original. You never mess with your original, okay? You always make a copy just to be safe. You're going to open it up. You're going to go to resize, go all the way down to translate, select language, and I picked out Spanish. I speak Spanish, so that's why I kind of just went to Spanish. So I click on Spanish, and it asks you for the tone of voice: original, professional, conversational, friendly. I just want to use original because I do feel like this workbook was very well written. So I'm just going to use original, and I want to apply it to all pages. And let's see, translate existing design without creating a copy. Yes, we already made a copy, so we don't need to make an additional copy. And then I'm going to click on translate. This may take a few minutes or not. Look at that. It just took seconds. That's amazing. Okay, and there you have it. It just translated all 47 pages, I'll show you, into Spanish. So I'm telling you, this is amazing. And I know I'm Mexican, and Spanish was my first language growing up. So I'm very familiar with language. And I went through this just to make sure that it made sense, because sometimes when you translate from English to Spanish, the words are either, mixed up, or they're not using the correct word. And no, it did an amazing job. Like, I understood it completely. And I'm just like, oh my God, if we ever have somebody that, feels more comfortable with Spanish, it took me seconds to generate this, and it's accommodating your clients. It's making them feel, like included, understood, like they're going to feel like, wow, they went out of the way to translate an entire workbook. Like, wow, not a lot of people have the option to offer it in Spanish. And if they see that this is an option, it's just a new level of professionalism, a new level of just standing out. Again, being able to reach to a whole new clients, right? To a whole new audience. So that's why I really love this tip. And again, you saw what happened. It took seconds, and you can do this with not just workbooks. You can do this with your graphics. You can do this with your stories, your reel covers. Imagine that. Isn't that amazing? All right, guys. And that is a wrap of part 1 of these Canva hacks that will change your design game. I hope these tips make your design process smoother and faster. And if you found any of these hacks helpful, please let me know in the comments. And don't forget, this is just part 1. I have more to show you. I have a ton of Canva secrets to share with you. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you do not miss part 2. Also, if you try any of these hacks, please tag us at the Gold Digger Girl, and we'd love to see what you create. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you for our next video.